Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought we could have a little bit of a catch up because I haven't vlogged in about 2 weeks and I feel quite disconnected at the moment from my YouTube. I have maybe 6 or 8 videos filmed, but I just haven't got around to editing them. I haven't really vlogged for 2 weeks like I said, so I feel a little bit of distance, and I feel like having a sit down chat like this with you guys might help me feel a little bit more motivated and a bit more connected and a bit more kind of inspired, I guess, to carry on with my YouTube, to edit the ones I already have and then get this one up online as well. So for me today, I think it's about the 17th, 19th of April, something like that. I have no idea what day it is. And I thought I could talk to you about the last couple of weeks because I've kind of been here, there and everywhere and a little bit busy. And I also thought I would talk about our experience of travel this year because it's definitely been different to last year. So if I give you a little bit of an update first, the last thing you will have seen from me was the vlog from Mexico City. But I spoke to you the day I was leaving to go home to England for 10 days. And I was intending to vlog the 10 days at home because I never vlog at home, I never film, which means I don't really have much kind of videos of my parents and things like that, and I thought it could be quite nice just to get something and just to like film what we do in England, film a little bit of where I'm from, a little bit of what we do. But honestly it was just hectic. So I flew, I think at like 10 p.m. or something. So I flew Mexico City to London. I then waited 2 hours in London and flew London to Manchester. My parents picked me up from Manchester, which is the north of England, and then we drove 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is, to get back down to London to stay with my brother and his wife for about 3 or 4 days. I can't even remember now. And so I think I got home, well, I got to their place, well, the place they're staying at the moment, because they're staying at a friend's house because their friends have gone away, so they're like house and dog sitting. Anyway, got there at like midnight, then stayed up for maybe an hour chatting and then went to bed. So I was absolutely zonked. I was so dead. I think I'd been traveling for maybe 24 hours from like leaving the apartment in Mexico City, taxi to the airport, waiting a couple of hours at the airport, the flight, waiting, the next flight, driving. So it was like a really long day and I was absolutely dead. So the next day I thought, right, I need to get up early and spend time with my family, especially my brother, because I was only going to see him for a couple of days. And I was absolutely exhausted. Like, I think I napped most of the day. Like, I was just, in the morning in particular, I had such bad jet lag. I've never had it that bad before. Like, I felt physically sick. I felt so hungover. I felt so awful. We sat at the breakfast table and I was literally like, I can't eat anything, I'm gonna vom. Like, I felt like I was hungover, like horrendously hungover, which obviously I wasn't. I was just really dehydrated. Ended up napping in the cinema room. I'm gonna be popping some pictures on screen because I did take a couple of pictures when we were there. Yeah, so that day was a little bit of a waste. Honestly, I was just so tired. The next day I was also exhausted. Was it the next day or was it that day? I honestly don't remember. It was either that night or the next day. My mum got a phone call from the doctor saying that my dad needs to go to hospital to get a potassium test, and this was at like 9:30 p.m. I was about to go to bed. I was absolutely knackered. I was just like, I was falling asleep on the sofa watching Below Deck with my sister-in-law, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, guys. And then mum got this phone call, so I ended up going to hospital with her and my dad. We got there at 10 p.m, stayed until 7 a.m. I was already jet-lagged AF and then ended up staying up when I was supposed to be sleeping. So then that next day I slept basically the whole day, like went to bed at 7 a.m, woke up again at maybe 2 p.m, I don't know, had a nap in the afternoon. Like, I was just absolutely zonked. I think the next day we maybe had a day together. We went to a park at some point. We went to Paynes Hill Park, which is a park nearby because they have this crystal grotto thing. So I went for a walk around there, really enjoyed that day. It was nice to kind of go out with my family and be outside in nature and things, especially because I'd spent like, I was saying to my parents, because I'd travelled like 24 hours and then had basically 2 days where I was asleep because I was either jet lagged or tired, I felt like I hadn't walked in like ages, so like I just needed to walk around, get outside. So that was really nice. And then I think that's pretty much all we did. So then we drove back home on the Sunday. So I arrived there I think on the Thursday. So yeah, we drove up home on Sunday and then I spent a couple of days at home and I flew back again on the Saturday. So I had almost a week at home and we basically redesigned my grandma's living area. So she lived with my parents and she died in November. So I think my mum kind of found it tough to see her things all the time in this area, so we decided to kind of redo it a little bit. So bought a new bed because my grandma has had her bed for like 20 years or something. So definitely we needed to get rid of that. Also got rid of some of her like old furniture. Obviously we kept a lot of things to kind of, you know, keep her memory alive or whatever, like memory sake things, but got rid of a lot of her things. and kept the sofa. So we basically bought some new cushions, we bought a new bed and mattress, we bought some fake plants, we bought some cushions. I think that's it. It was basically a case of clearing out all my grandma's old things in terms of like old furniture we didn't want to keep, old whatever, and then putting in the new things, but trying to keep it kind of sparse and empty and thinking about designs and things like that, because we bought the cushions when I was there. I didn't actually get to see them by the time I left because they arrived afterwards. Bought like a coffee table, bought a shelf, also bought some art prints. So since I've been in Mexico the past couple of months, I would say, not even that long, past couple of weeks maybe, I have started drawing again. So I bought an iPad last year in India, so it would have been around June time, I think. Because I'm quite a creative person, when I am traveling, there's not many ways I can kind of express my creativity in terms of fashion, because I just have to carry the same clothes all the time. I can't be buying new things all the time. I obviously can't paint or embroider or make ceramics, or, you know, there's lots of different things that I can't really do because I don't have the space to carry things or to make these things. So I bought an iPad thinking I could draw, and I did for a couple of weeks, and I think I just got so bogged down with like watching other people's tutorials about how to draw specific things and how to be really good at like illustration that I kind of lost my spark with it. And then since being in Mexico, I've just been kind of being creative with more like abstract prints and art, and just kind of drawing shapes and patterns and lines, and just trying to make the image balanced and beautiful and simple in my own way without it having to look like a building or look like a person or whatever it is. So I've been really enjoying that. So Mum has loved my drawings and wanted to get some printed, so we printed 5. So I have 1 above the bed, 2 in the lounge, 3 in the lounge, and 1 in the kitchen. So I spent time putting those up as well, which was really nice. It was actually really, really nice to see my artwork printed out and big and actually in someone's home, because obviously, like I said, with traveling, I can't just print prints and like show them off online or like show people what it would look like in their home, because I don't have a home to be able to showcase it. So it was really nice to be able to do that. What else did we do? I don't know, just kind of hung out a little bit, went for a couple of meals, just honestly spent quality time with my family, which was really nice. Then flew home, and it was my birthday a couple of days ago. So it's my birthday on 15th of April. Like I said, I think it's now like the 19th or 20th. I have no idea what day it is. Jeremy had a really nice surprise day for me. So we ended up, in the morning, he went to the shops and got some pastries for like a breakfast. He then bought pancake mix and Nutella and berries for lunch. We then went to a spa. He didn't tell me where we were going, so the whole day I'm like, where are we going? Can you tell me? And I was like, no, it's a surprise. And then we turned up at this spa, and they said we were doing a chocolate body wrap, and I was like, whoa, okay, that sounds cool. So we're in this like really nice spa, like dark room. We have a bed each and basically get naked, have our pants on, and lay down on this bed, and then they put a thing over your eyes so that you can, you're nice and relaxed. And then they basically rub, we thought it was going to be actual chocolate, like I think Jeremy thought it would be actual chocolate when he booked it. Turned out it was just like a chocolate lotion. It smelled delicious, but it wasn't really what Jeremy kind of thought it was going to be. Still really nice experience. And they basically cover your whole body in this chocolate lotion, and then wrap you in plastic and leave you to bake for like 20-30 minutes, and then come back and wash it all off for you. We then also got a quick shower because the place we were staying in Mexico City didn't always have water, so we were to like wash the kind of stuff off. Went home, watched Notting Hill, which was so nice. It's my favourite film. Chilled out a little bit, and then went to the city centre to the Grand Hotel, the restaurant on the rooftop, and you get really nice views over the like main square in Mexico City. Great food. It was like a 4-course meal for, I don't remember how much it was, but it was really good. Really enjoyed that. And that was my birthday. And then pretty much since then we've packed, and then today we arrived in San Miguel de Allende. So we literally arrived this morning. We set off this morning at like 7:45, 8 a.m, something like that, from Mexico City. Arrived here at maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. Went and sat in Starbucks for 2 hours because the Airbnb wasn't ready. We've just arrived, and then I wanted to film this video. So I've seen little snippets of San Miguel so far. We've seen 2 churches, and the Starbucks basically. So I kind of want to film this video here to kind of catch you up, chat about life and what's been happening, and then you can start the vlogs and kind of know what's been happening the last couple of weeks in between the 2 vlogs. So that's been my life the past couple of weeks. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was kind of how I feel like travel is different this year, both for me and Jeremy. I feel like last year when we did Southeast Asia, when we started in Vietnam in December, and then also kind of last January, and then the whole of 2023 we were in Southeast Asia, we had so much energy, especially at the beginning. We would like be here, there and everywhere, going on day trips, seeing everything, walking around like the whole day, every single day, making sure we saw everything, did all the day trips, did all the things you had to see and do. And that kind of lasted for, I would say, Vietnam, Cambodia and Thailand. I feel like after Thailand Thailand. We then went to Australia to a friend's wedding. We then we spent 2 weeks there, and again we were tourist mode. Then went to Sri Lanka for a month, where we stayed in one place for the whole month. So we did have time to calm down a little bit and kind of slow our travel, and we did do a couple of day trips, but otherwise it was pretty settled. In India, we were there for 6 weeks, didn't love it at all. And then Malaysia and Indonesia. So I can't remember how long we spent in Malaysia. I think it was 2, maybe 3 months in Malaysia, and then about 7 weeks in Bali. And I feel like the end of the year is when we really kind of found our groove in terms of working and enjoying life, because I feel like before that we were like tourist mode on, like seeing everything, doing everything, and then working kind of around that and as and when we could. Whereas in Malaysia and Bali, we kind of really set aside like, okay, we'll go to a cafe for the whole day and work. And it was more of a like living abroad situation in terms of we would work and then maybe have 1 or 2 day trips per week and kind of walk around, go to the cafe, and on the way to the cafe you kind of walk down a beach, get to the cafe and work for 6 hours, and then walk along the beach on the way home for the sunset, maybe go for a swim, go back, get dinner, that kind of thing. So it was a lot more of like a normal life, and it was actually really, really nice. I really enjoyed going to different cafes, getting different drinks and food, and kind of slowing down a little bit and almost like just living life abroad versus traveling where you're literally every single day out here, there and everywhere doing everything. And it feels different this year, and I don't really know what it is. Like last year I filmed so much. I was producing 5 vlogs per week, which when I think about that is insane, because at the moment I'm doing 2 per week, and even that I've not uploaded for maybe 2 or 3 weeks now, because I feel so different this year. So last year I vlogged every single thing, like every day trip, every time we were like getting ready, when we were going somewhere. There was just so much content, which I really enjoyed at the time, but it's crazy now to think that I was doing 5 videos a week. No idea how I did that. But yeah, this year feels different, and I think at the beginning of the year I was so ill in January. I went to Austria to see my brother and his 2 kids. They were really ill, gave me their illness, and I was ill for about 2 months, like really ill for January, but still ill in February, slightly ill still in March, like it really lingered. So I think at the beginning of the year when we were in Cancun, Tulum, Campeche, Merida, I don't remember everywhere else we went, but I felt different, and I think I thought it was just because I was ill. And I felt different in terms of like I just wasn't bothered about going out and doing things. I still feel the same now, so I'm talking past tense, but it's kind of the same here, in that like I'm excited to see San Miguel. I'm excited to walk around. I'm excited to see, the different buildings and the cafes and the churches and the markets and things like that. But I'm not at all in tourist mode like I was last year. And I'm a lot more okay to spend a day working in a cafe and then walk around before and afterwards. Or just kind of living life in a different city each week, but rather than being a tourist, just kind of living regular life. So it's felt really different this year in terms of vlogging. I filmed way less. In terms of just our day-to-day lives, feels a lot less hectic. We spent 4 weeks, Jeremy spent 4 weeks in Mexico City when I went home for 10 days. But apart from that, we've spent 2 weeks in Oaxaca and then 1 week in every other place. We are still moving quite quickly, but I don't know, it just feels different. That's kind of the update. So yeah, there's definitely less videos this year. I definitely feel less excited, I would say. I don't know if it's just that like the excitement of traveling has worn off, because I remember last year when we made it to Vietnam, I had this moment on the beach where I was like like crying, like, oh my god, we're actually doing this, we're traveling, we're out here living life to the fullest, doing the most. And I don't know if after a year of doing that, like I'm just a little bit tired or just less excited about it. And like I still feel so grateful. Like I was talking to Jeremy the other day and saying that like, we could easily move back home, get regular 9-to-5 jobs and do that whole thing where like you don't see each other because you're both working all the time, and like we have a better salary, we'd have a stable home, but you'd also probably be in debt because you have to either get a mortgage or pay rent and work all the time to be able to afford all that lifestyle. And we did that, and we managed to escape the matrix, as they call it, and now we are living life on our own terms, and we can kind of, if we decide we hate it here, we can leave tomorrow, or we can stay an extra month, or we can, it's really up to us. So I'm so grateful that we're at this point in our lives where we can do that. And like we're not making a load of money, we're not, we're kind of scraping by at the minute, but I would still have it this way rather than working an office job and being stuck somewhere and having to ask your manager for days off, or having to ask your manager if you can go to the toilet, or having to figure out work schedules and, working weekends. And like I did all that. So I'm so grateful that now we can like work our own schedule, do what we want, be where we want. I'm so grateful for that. I would never go back to the other lifestyle. Even if I had to, I wouldn't do it. I'd figure out a way to not have to do that. But yeah, it does. I don't know. I wonder if traveling full time just does get tiring. I don't know. So I'm more of like I'm getting I think we just sort of talked about this last year, but I think even more so this year, I'm getting more so to the point where like I want to stay somewhere for 2 or 3 months, like in one city. So whether that's like, the plan was to finish Mexico, we've got another 5 or 6 weeks here, spend 2 months in Costa Rica, about a month in Peru, a month in Bolivia, then go down to Chile and Argentina. And I'm getting more and more to the point where like I want to spend 3 months in Mexico City, or 3 months in a place in Costa Rica, or 3 months and go back to Asia and live in Bangkok for 3 months, or Malaysia for 3 months or something. So I don't know if that's going to be something that we start to do more and more. But yeah, I'm feeling the need to be a bit more settled and a bit more still in terms of our travels, and still see places and still live abroad, but just find a bit more calm, I guess. And I think I also feel like I never have enough time to get stuff done in terms of editing videos, but also in terms of working with my clients and like all the different things that I do. I never feel like I quite have enough time, and it's always really rushed in terms of like, okay, I've got 6 hours a day to work, quick, get as much done as I can, so that the days that I have off when we're traveling, I can actually enjoy it and experience different things and not feel like I have to work. Like I remember when we were in Chiang Mai. We went there for 4 days, went up to Chiang Rai and then came back down again. And during that second set of 4 days, I basically said to Jeremy, we can't go anywhere, I need to edit YouTube videos, I need to get work done for my clients, so let's just sit in a cafe and work, which meant that we just missed out on 4 days of seeing Chiang Mai. And I think the first time we'd been there, Jeremy had to get work done or something, so we didn't really see that city as much as we would have liked to, and I don't want work to dictate how long we spend somewhere and what we do. Anyway, this is a very rambly video, so I'm going to go ahead and close this one off because I feel like I'm just rambling and talking nonsense. But all that to say is that content is different this year. I feel different this year. Our travels might slow down a bit more towards the end of the year, but that's a bit of a life update. Hope you enjoyed that one. Like I said, we just arrived in San Miguel de Allende, so we're going to be here for a week. So I am going to start a vlog today and start to show you around a little bit. This is kind of going back to things. I'm not going to be doing like, you know, visiting every single church, every single market, every single cafe and restaurant just so I can show you guys. I'm just going to live my life and vlog it, and it might not be the most exciting, it might not be the most informative or the most like up to date or the most like, you know, oh my god, 10 cafes you have to go to in this place or the best 10 restaurants or whatever, because that's just not our lives. That we cook at home way more this year than we did last year. We're just living more of a normal life, so I will vlog it and I will show you around, but I think it's going to be less whatever the word is. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a rambly one. The next video you're going to be seeing is a vlog from San Miguel de Allende, which is where I am now, and I'm going to start that vlog now as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.